Hey everybody, it's Anna's Thoughts. I believe I'm on 39. I know I normally do this out of my car, but it is 40 outside, so the outside's dead to me. I'm not going outside. The hell with that. So, I kind of want to talk about something. I feel like I've had this conversation now at least four times in the past month. And what it is people asking me, Anna, how are you surviving? And then how do I tell my kids that we or my family in general that we're not going to have a prosperous holiday season? Okay, those of you guys who know me, I have lost everything that I own, not once but twice, where I had to leave with whatever I could put in my car or a little tiny U-Haul trailer and then restart my life all over again. I've also had to move cross state lines by myself with no family in that state. So, people always found it really weird when I told them it's my birthday. They're like, "What are you doing?" It's like nothing. It's just another day to me. And there is some emotional reasons for that, mostly watching my father died in 2013 in hospice for a month. So after that, I kind of stopped celebrating it for some reason. I just don't really care. It's just another year. It's just another day. I'm glad I made it another 365 days and I'm good to go. Now, the friends that make an effort to try to celebrate it with me, I am appreciative, but know that if it wasn't for you, I would have done the same thing I do every day. It's just another day. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you're by yourself or you don't have the means, there really is no other option. I can't fabricate people from thin air, and I cannot make money that's not there. So it's just instead of me just kind of looking at the miserable side of the situation, I mostly look at it as like, okay, what do I have and do I have the most important things? Did I pay my rent or mortgage this month? Yes. Are my utilities paid for this month? Yes. Am I able to feed myself today without struggling? Yes. Is my card paid off? Yes. Are my basic needs met? Yes. I'm like, well, am I stressed about it? No. Anytime that I see, these holiday things, keep in mind that people like me, you can ask Mama Peggy and my fiance, it wasn't until them that I started celebrating it again. Because when people ask me years ago, it's like, Anna, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I'm like, I'm probably going to make myself a Thanksgiving pizza with a slice of pumpkin pie because that is a must. That is my one tradition for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to work on my taxes. That has been my thing, okay, for years. Same thing with Christmas. Now, Christmas, I used to go, I always celebrate by myself. I like to be at home quiet. Now, the reason why I didn't do what they call the orphan at the event, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, one is always kind of weird crashing someone else's holiday. I know they mean well because they're trying to do I'm doing the good deed of the season, but what they don't realize is that when you have someone that doesn't have family or their family passed away like me, asking them to come to that environment, you're reminding them of the stuff that they have lost. So wow, I would have loved to have a family like this when my family is dead, or I would love to have a family like this, but because reasons I'm not near my family. It could be anything from inside fighting, or they're just, whatever the reason may be, there's just no one around. So in a way, you're kind of depressing them a little bit more, but that's just my opinion. So it also avoids the weird conversation. Why are you here at our Christmas party or a Thanksgiving by yourself? And you have to explain yourself that, it's because my family's dead. It just avoids that weird conversation every time. So I got used to not celebrating holidays, and all that stuff. But anyway, kind of going back to the original point. Holidays are as hype as you make them to be. Okay? It doesn't make you a bad person if you don't celebrate like everybody else does. But we've gotten so used to companies telling us, if you don't do this, you're a loser. That is not the truth at all. I enjoy sitting at home. I enjoy my mortgage. I enjoy the peace and quiet. I enjoy playing video games by myself or painting or doing whatever I do. I absolutely love it, and it's the best gift I can give to myself for hard weeks of work. Just actually enjoying the fruits of my labor and be able to afford my basic needs. It is literally the fruits of my labor. Okay, so there's that part. So now, The past month, I've had literally about four people that they come up to me, and it's mostly because we have this furlough situation going on, or some of them, unfortunately, that were part of those layoffs that we're hearing about right now. And then suddenly, they go, Anna, I know you've been laid off for months. How the fuck are you doing it? And I was like, well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell you. One, to make sure you have a nest egg, because unfortunately, let's be honest, it used to be the original suggestion is that you save 3 months until you can land another job. The last couple years, even Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, all of them, you hear them. You actually hear what they're saying. They're saying is that you need to save minimum of 6 months to a year of income, because it's that, especially for people that start getting into the higher brackets, like 70, 80, 6 figures and up, it gets harder to find work at those higher brackets versus the lower brackets, which is like, it's pretty much entry level work. Okay. Or low skill work or whatever. I don't care if you get offended by it. If I've been a cashier, I've been a janitor, I've been all that. It's literally, you can train a rock to do it. So you could get offended by it. That's fine. So, you should have been saving this whole time. And you can ask my family. I hate shopping. I only buy the stuff that I need. I have been downsizing. This is the one benefit of kind of being right now. I'm underemployed. I'm not unemployed. I'm underemployed. But I literally just been downsizing everything that I don't need. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Just in case, in the worst case scenario, I might have to move because I might not be able to afford what I have. So that's pretty much the way that my mind thinks. I'm constant survival mode. The other thing is, it's okay to go to your family, especially right now in this uncertain time, and tell them, hey, for this year, let's have this hard conversation. Let's make sure that we have what we need to survive the next few months. Again, the basics: shelter, food, transportation, medicine. Make sure your cores are covered first. That is above anything else. And then tell them, if we are able to, then we will do something. If you have a family, like me and my sister, we got to the point where if we're able to, we give each other a gift card. And we even ask each other, hey, where do you like to shop? Because we're in the same boat. We don't like hoarding things. So we go, hey, $25 to Victoria's Secret, or for me, it's Lowe's. I like Lowe's because I'm constantly there repairing my home. So I tell friends, it's like either send me a text, take me out to eat, or a Lowe's gift card works pretty good. That's pretty much my core ones. Or cook me something. I'm happy with that. Just cook me something. I don't want stuff anymore. I want to spend time with you. That to me is the gift. When people are so busy that they pause for a moment and make time for me, to hang out with me, to talk with me, that to me is worth a lot more than a trinket that I'm going to stick somewhere and never going to look at it again. So right out of the bat, keep in mind that it's okay, especially in the situation, to tell your family, hey, if we're going to have a Christmas, especially if you got little ones, let's do, something simpler this year. Instead of doing like all these gifts and crap that they're going to forget within 2 days, how about if you plan a full family game day? You probably have some board games around your house. And you just do fun stuff all day. That is something that they will remember, that great Christmas, that memory. Moments. Opening a gift is just a temporary short-term thing that, trust me, it will get pushed out like a month later. That toy you gave them, hey, you got what is it called? The dopamine in your head, and then 5 minutes later, it's kind of like cats. You give them a toy, they're like, yeah, this is great, and then they'll never play with it again. Same thing. But it's okay to tell your family, hey, this year, we're not doing Christmas because we just simply cannot afford it. So don't buy me anything. Don't gift us anything because I am unable to give you anything. And if they are respectful of that, they will respect your wishes. Because let's be honest, we're all seeing it. And I'm seeing it like above everything else. I'm seeing it everywhere. My LinkedIn, my friends, my neighbors, they are all like freaking the fuck out because, yeah, it's not like before. You lose a job, you can land a job. This is the longest I've ever been unemployed without a full-time job. Okay, normally my top time was 2 weeks. I'm now going from the end of February, and then this weekend's going to be November. So even though I'm underemployed, technically I'm not unemployed, but I work my ass off getting my degrees and certifications to get a full-time job with benefits, and I can't even do that right now. But because it doesn't exist, there is no work. There's no work. You're just literally throwing your resume to the void. You pray to God that the AI bots doesn't, like completely decimate your resume, even if you've run it through the AI. And even then, they're getting smart about it, so they're not even taking AI resumes anymore to make it past the butt. So it's kind of like it's really freaking weird. But anyway, going back to the original point, it is okay to tell your kids, hey, we're going to have a simpler Christmas, and you come up with an alternative. It is okay to go to the thrift shops and give them something or make them something. That's more personal. That's more personal. I talk to people and I figure out, right now I'm planning to do my Christmas gifts. One of my friends, she started a company, so I might design her logo, and that'll be my little Christmas gift for her. So I'm still kind of thinking ideas of stuff that I can make that are more personal and sentimental to them. So just communicate, just be clear, and just, so that way you don't feel like all these people give you these gifts and then you're like, I can't give you anything. But if you communicate it in advance, most people are understanding about that. For Thanksgiving, you don't need to have the full spread. Like I said, instead of having the whole turkey and all that stuff, you could have it where it's like a potluck with all your family, where everybody brings something to the table. It's not just you literally sharing, because let's be honest, meat is expensive. And I have friends that they used to put these giant events, and I remember them hearing it's like, man, everybody comes over, they eat, and they leave, and they don't even say thank you. This shit was not cheap, and it's definitely not cheap now. So if you are invited to a friend's party, at least say thank you for them providing the food, because we all know food ain't cheap right now. But anyway, I guess the point that I'm trying to say is, no, don't be embarrassed by telling people that you cannot afford it. You cannot afford a fancy Halloween. You cannot afford to give candy because it's $25 a bag and you need the money to pay whatever utility is. No, you cannot. It's okay to reuse previous year's costumes. It is okay for Thanksgiving to do something more low key. So instead of turkey, you do chicken, or you do, like I said, I used to do Thanksgiving pizza. I used to grab a pizza for $7, stick it in the oven, ate it. I had one dish to clean, two if you count my plate. Two plate, and that's it. That was it. It's okay to tell people that. It is okay to tell your family, especially if you have a huge family. The one blessing that I have for having a pretty much shrinking family is that Christmas has gotten a hell of a lot cheaper for me throughout the years. Not a lot of family members to worry about because they're long gone. They're 6 feet on the ground. There's nothing to give them to. Yeah. But you have large families. Go, hey, let's just do a family together ahead of time, and we just meet up and we just do little games or whatever. They are alternates, and it does not make you a bad parent if you cannot provide gifts for your lavish gifts for your kids. That does not make you a bad parent. It does not make you a bad parent if you don't have a Christmas tree just brimming the stuff. No. And it's actually a really good lesson to teach your kids at this point. And I might not have kids on my own, but I've been a caregiver, and I was pretty much a big sister to 2 young teenagers with my first marriage. So pretty close, And it's okay to have these hard conversations. Hey kids, this year we're going to do something different. This is why, and be honest. Be honest. I can't say this enough. Be honest with your family. Be honest with your expenses, because, yeah, you could try to say, fuck it, and rack up a bunch of debt on a credit card, but then January comes around and then you have that exuberant credit card bill that you got to pay back. So now you have the stressor of trying to give a magical Christmas, and then even worse, you have the stressor of a maxed out credit card, and the bills keep coming. You can't find work. And now the one thing that could have helped you kind of stretched out to that hard time, you maxed it out with stuff that were not necessities. All right. So this is just me giving my 2 cents from my life experience. Like I said, I've had this conversation now 4 times in the past month where, I've been in survival most of my life. So this is common sense stuff to me. But I just wanted you to hear it. If you're someone in this situation where you're accustomed to having these really big gaudy events, and then suddenly you find yourself in this position, know that it is okay. People understand. We have eyes. Everybody's going through a hard time. It is okay. Forgive yourself. Have a much lower key holiday that works for you and your budget, and it will pass. The kids will forgive you. It will pass. Right now, the main thing is Food, shelter, medicine, transportation. Trust me, there's nothing worse than going through Christmas with no food in your tummy. But anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.